The rhythmic beeping from the machines beside me had become the only proof I was still alive. I drifted in and out of awareness, every breath shallow, every pulse a reminder of how fragile everything had become. Tubes fed into my arms like roots, keeping me tethered to a life I wasn't sure I wanted anymore. My phone had been buzzing nonstop, but I didn't bother to reach for it. None of it mattered now. When my parents finally entered the hospital room, their smiles looked painted on, trembling beneath a layer of guilt and obligation. My sister's voice echoed faintly from the hallway, sharp and grating, arguing about whether the paint in her new apartment should be cream or beige. I wanted to laugh at the absurdity of it, but even that small effort was beyond me. Weeks ago, I might as well have been invisible to all of them, just another piece of background noise in their carefully curated lives. It hadn't happened suddenly. The distance had crept in quietly, almost politely. Missed calls, half-hearted replies, excuses disguised as busyness. I kept telling myself it was temporary, that they'd notice eventually. But then I saw the truth hiding in plain sight. They didn't care enough to notice. They were too comfortable, too distracted by meaningless things, while I was quietly falling apart. The realization hit me one night like a cold wave. My sister's petty complaints over wallpaper, my parents laughing in another room while I was breaking inside. That was the moment something in me hardened. They had chosen convenience over concern, pride over compassion. My pain wasn't dramatic enough for their attention. And so, I stopped waiting for it. I didn't lash out. I didn't cry. I planned. I began to build something from the wreckage they left behind, a structure of quiet retribution. With every ounce of strength I had, I contacted my lawyer. We pieced together documents, records, and evidence. Every form signed. Every line reviewed became another weapon forged from their negligence. I wasn't just fighting illness anymore. I was reclaiming control. By the time they came to visit again, I was ready. The scent of antiseptic filled the room, the fluorescent lights unforgiving. My lawyer stood near the bed, calm and composed, a folder of neatly organized papers in hand. My parents looked confused, maybe even a little afraid. "Do you know why you're here?" I asked quietly, my voice thin but sharp enough to cut through the sterile air. Their faces changed as the documents were laid before them, each page spelling out what they had failed to see, what they had refused to acknowledge. Their negligence wasn't just emotional anymore. It had legal weight, consequences that couldn't be ignored or brushed aside. I watched as the color drained from their faces, as realization sank in. My sister's endless chatter about colors and furniture now seemed grotesque in the shadow of what they had done. Years of being overlooked had led to this moment. They tried to apologize, their words tumbling over each other, desperate and hollow. But I didn't want their pity. I wanted recognition. I wanted them to finally see me. When they left, I felt something inside me settle, a calm unlike anything I'd felt before. It wasn't joy. It wasn't forgiveness. It was the quiet satisfaction of balance restored. Justice doesn't always arrive with noise and fury. Sometimes it's silent, deliberate, and undeniable. As the monitor beside me beeped steadily, I closed my eyes. The air felt warmer somehow. My body was weak, but my spirit stood tall. I had endured their neglect and turned it into strength. I realized then that true revenge isn't rage. It's peace. It's the knowledge that you've risen above those who left you behind, that they now must live with the truth of their failure. Once, I was invisible. Now I was unshakable.